Travelling without money is not the easiest thing to do at the best of times, let alone during a global pandemic. Having to pay for a COVID test with every border crossing makes the whole thing virtually impossible, but in this video I will show you how we have managed to do it without paying once. We had spent the last month in Iraq with the plan to go to Iran on our hitchhiking route to India, but due to COVID we were unable to get a visa for Iran. Because we travel without money, we do not use aeroplanes, which meant our only other option was to leave Iraq and to hitchhike the whole way up the eastern side of Turkey and try to get into Georgia. The first hurdle was to get from Iraq to Turkey without a COVID test. When we had left Turkey a month before, we were told that we couldn't enter Iraq without the obligatory $50 COVID test on the border. But with a lot of talking, we were given the test for free. The difference with this border was that we needed the test results 72 hours beforehand. Unlike entering Iraq from Turkey, when they didn't even check the results before letting people enter the country. Nevertheless, we rocked up to the border with our hopes held high. He's looking at every single page.
They want to know in which kind of countries we were before.
Yeah.
Checkpoint?
We're at the Turkey border now. We're going into the passport checkpoint, but our problem is we don't have a COVID test. We've so far been okay without the test, but the reason we were let through is because the guy had seen us on TV and recognised us for living without money and travelling all over the world, and as soon as he realised who we were, he took a picture of us and said, yeah, you can go through. So, results so far. The next checkpoint was the main hurdle. The first section of the checkpoint being an uncannily long queue of people flapping their negative PCR certificates in the air. I had to stop filming for the majority of this section. We were first told to go back to Iraq and get a test in the nearest city. We've got to the checkpoint and there's now a huge queue of people who have all their corona test certificates, and obviously we don't have it. It's problems with travelling without money. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
No test. No test. No test.
We told them we didn't have the money to get the test, and secondly that our visas for Iraq had run out, and if we tried to go back there we would only be sent back to the Turkish border again, and that the entire reason we were here was because we could not legally stay in Iraq for any longer. We were getting nowhere, and the fact that none of us could speak the same language didn't help. A few people in the queue understandably started getting very angry with us for wasting everyone's time and asking how stupid could we possibly be to come to the border without a negative test. We explained our situation over and over. We couldn't give in. We had no option but to go to Turkey. An ununiformed policeman then came out to ask what was happening, and thankfully he spoke English. We explained our situation again, telling him in detail about our entire no-money ethos. We've been given some pieces of paper with signatures on. We've got through the first checkpoint with a lot of struggle and a lot of talking and a lot of blagging, and now we have these signed pieces of paper with no official stamp on, and hopefully we'll be allowed through the next section.
If we can make it in the end without a COVID test and without to get in quarantine, I really have to rethink the system.
We will, of course we will.
We always do.
We didn't skip with joy quite yet. I always like to say I don't get excited about anything until it's already happened. It stopped me from becoming disappointed. But yes, we had just made it through the main checkpoint without a COVID test, just by talking and talking and talking and talking.
Anything down?
We just got the stamps in our passports!
No corona test!
No corona test! No quarantine!
We have still one checkpoint.
Oh, we still have a checkpoint. Well, we've got the stamp though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. This behind me, my friends, is Iraq. Here is Turkey.
Yo!
And did another test. We've just been allowed through. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I'm so happy.
we made it.
As soon as we were through, we started hitchhiking and were instantly picked up by a taxi who already had a customer in but was going in our direction anyway and gave us a ride for free. All across Turkey, and specifically in the Kurdish region, everyone treats each other like they're best friends. There's not really such a thing as what us Western people have been taught as stranger danger.
Tamam.
Para yok, sorun yok. Tamam. Çok teşekkürler.
Hadi geldi valize kaynana var.
Merhaba.
Merhaba. Nasılsınız?
Çok güzel.
Çok güzel.
Turkish chogas. A car just stopped on the side of the road for me, passed me a beer and drove off. We're just trying to hitchhike to another city and find a place to sleep. We might camp if we don't get to the city, but let's see. We wanted to hitchhike a few hundred kilometres that night, but had forgotten that in Turkey there is a lockdown after 9 p.m. So we went to the first hotel that we could find and asked if we could work for them in return for staying the night.